on digital radio, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Donut Bag presented by The Sportscast.
The Donut Bag, hosted by Joey Bag of Donuts. And here's your host, Joey Bag of Donuts.
What's going on, everybody? I will never get over that there's a theme song to this thing now, but pretty cool. Welcome to the Donut Bag podcast, part of the Sportscast Network. If you want to join in the conversation, there's a little scrolly thing down there, youtube.com/@JoeyBagOfDonuts. Always love when people comment. And while you're there, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Well, you and me went to training camp. Unfortunately, not together. We were a day apart.
I know. What are these? I know.
Look cool if we were there, and doing a live podcast from training camp. And
one of these days we got to do it. I'm sure we will.
That sounds like really cool. You're like, look at that jag up. Look at that. Look, oh my god. Look at what that guy's wearing. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, there were probably some, and shame on me for not taking pictures, but there were Tommy Maddox jerseys taped over with the duct tape, classic Yinzer, and then I think it was from this weekend. But today, someone posted a picture of Mike Tomlin 04 on their jersey. I have no idea what that's even about. I've never even seen. Why 4? And it's 0-4. It's not like he went 0 for 4 in Super Bowls, thank God. But I don't know.
He started in 2007, so maybe 07.
Right.
I don't know. My joke is if he had a number, it would be 98, since he always goes 9 and 8 or something like that.
That's a good one. Yeah, no. Friday night at Latrobe was incredible. I always think it's so funny with that stadium because it's basically made for about 5,000 or 6,000. So it's probably one of the bigger stadiums in the Whitfield. Because they'll have county events at that stadium too, so it's bigger. And they had 14,100 people there.
Crazy.
and it's and then you roll into Saturday, and no matter what we talk about tonight, no matter what we say, what we discuss, depth charts and who's doing what, who's doing this. Again, there's few NFL atmospheres that really get you or wet your beak, so to speak, for your upcoming season in Steelers training camp. I mean, it's so open. One of the things that you and I have seen for over 20 years is that when you have guys, it's even fun to still see, when you have a guy like an Aaron Rodgers or DK Metcalf come in, and they come from an environment where it wasn't quite like that, and they sit there and they say, this is really cool. I know Green Bay, I think, is still one of the few NFL franchises that still might do a lot of stuff that the Steelers do. But just, coming from the Jets and DK coming from Seattle, they don't do anything like that in Seattle. So it's neat to hear that. And then, of course, the fans. I mean, you walk to the parking lot, it was like you could just sit there and start writing down license plates. I saw British Columbia. British Columbia. That's probably
thousands of miles away.
Yeah. South Carolina, North Carolina, all these people, they come in for Steelers training camp. It's just a lot of fun. And then, of course, the day is fun, too. I definitely think we could do a podcast. In fact, this Saturday we were there. We were under the shade tree, perfect view from about the 10-yard line, had a picnic table. For most of the day, we could just sit right up there, and – yeah, so no, it was a good weekend. Fortunately, it seems like most of the Steelers came out pretty healthy, not too many injuries, nothing that's really too bad. But yeah, it was a good time, a lot of fun. You and I were texting back and forth. Hey, stop at this food truck. Try this out. Go do that. It was a good time.
Which I did. Now I didn't have the chicken tenders that you suggested, but they did have fries that were amazing. And I was really confused because you said go to the yellow truck. And I'm like, the only yellow truck I said it says crepes. Like what
Oh,
the heck?
maybe it
What
was
are you talking
green.
about? It's like no. They had fries and chicken, like fries. Like we're talking like Kennywood potato patch fries here. They were amazing.
Yeah, they were amazing fries.
Now you got a really good seats in the shade, which is really important, and like really good vantage points. I was not so lucky. If you go to Steelers training camp, you gotta go early. If you're lucky to get, and by early, we're talking like hours. we're talking like you got to be there at like 10 a.m. or something like that. At least if it's a 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock start. But we got there late, and there's a pathway all around there, like starting at the top of the hill and going down to the dorms and stuff. Well, I was on the wrong side of that path, so basically it was me sitting down on a chair that I brought, and just people walking in front of me the whole time. It's like, okay, I what so, but I don't care. I still had a good time. I don't care.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Yeah, it depends. Usually I would recommend, if you want a little bit of I don't know if you want to say a tip. So the Saturday after the Friday night light game is one of the best days to go in the entire time, because okay, you will miss out on some of the starters, because on that Saturday they did not play Aaron or TJ or DK. But it's a little laid back because everybody's in Latrobe the night before, so they're either hungover, they're staying in their hotels, whatever. So it was a little bit laid back. But yeah, you're right. On any given day, my brother-in-law, he lives right in Latrobe, so we were literally 8 minutes away. So he knew some back roads too. So if you know some back roads, makes for easy. But yeah, Joe's right, guys. And I think we said this a couple weeks ago: sunscreen, floppy hat. If you don't get the shade, there's plenty of shade spots, but if you're not in them, you're in the sun, and there's not much else to go. And you know what I do for a living. I know some of the things coming up, they are going to do a pretty good redesign there. They're going to do a new press box. They're really going to spruce up Chuck Noll Field. I think you're going to see in the coming years some pretty good changes, but Steelers have no intent of leaving. They're just looking to kind of improve not only things for St. Vincent athletics, but also for Chuck Noll Field there. So sit and wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I saw some big giant building being made. I don't know if that has anything to do with the Steelers or whatever, but
no,
just something for St. Vincent's. Okay.
Yeah, that'll be the new basketball gymnasium. It's going to be pretty darn cool.
Cool.
Pretty darn cool. Yeah.
And also at Steelers training camp, they have things for kids to go like play and do football related stuff, but they also have, basically they brought the entire Steelers pro shop over and they put it in a big tent.
Pretty much. Yeah, a lot of merching. They have the tackle dummies. Steely McBeam is there every day, going nuts. And I will tell you, even though it's fun on DVE, the Steely DVE, real Steely does not like Steely DVE. Trust me, I
wonder why.
I know. I did that once, and I got a pretty good punch in my arm.
Not a flattering portrayal of Steely McBeam on the show.
No, but it's so great. But yeah, but no, there is a lot for kids to do, folks. There really is, and I love how they, kids come. We were there. Half the fun is sitting there, and this one kid, him and his dad, they had come out from Scranton area. And he was psyched because he got TJ Watt's autograph that day. He got Mount Washington's autograph. He got a couple, and because they give out the hats, you can get the white footballs for very cheap. The white panel, like it's a four seam football, the white panel. I mean, it's great. So a lot of fun, and again, the money they raised Friday night. I didn't get the total yet from my contacts there, but I know it's over $200,000 that will go back into like Latrobe School District. Latrobe.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. They just
amazing.
Yeah, it really is. So
yeah. So at the pro shop, I'm a big cheapo, and I go to the clearance section, and there were plenty of George Pickens, still Chase Claypool stuff, but they also have Russell Wilson stuff, which I got.
Nice.
This jersey, an NFL jersey, cost $25. I could not pass it up. I don't care who's on it. okay, maybe I would care if a couple people were on it. I wouldn't buy it, but still, I don't get Russell Wilson's on it. I don't care. $25 for an NFL jersey. I'm taking that any day of the week.
There you go. And if Will Howard switches to number 3 next week, all you need is duct tape and a magic marker. You're going to be fitting right in.
I already repurposed my Kenny Pickett jersey to an Aaron Rodgers jersey with the duct tape, so we're good to go. So.
Yes, there's a lot of Kenny Pickett jerseys repurposed into Aaron Rodgers. A lot.
I could also take the 3 and turn it. I think Peyton Wilson's 41. I could somehow get a 41 or something like that.
They said that a buddy of mine that helps run that tent, he said he's been there for years. It's like that's the thing with Steeler training camp. There's always somebody there that's been 40 years doing something. But DK Metcalf has been by far the biggest jersey sell since merch sales started going up. So there were a lot of DK Metcalf.
There were a lot of DK Metcalfs. Yeah. I've heard over and over again they've never seen crowds this big. I know I witnessed it. There was a lot of people on when I went Sunday.
Yeah, they've been huge, and I don't know what you attribute that to.
Aaron Rodgers?
Definitely, Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf. Yeah, I agree. Bringing some of those new guys in, I think that's been a big deal. I think each year they seem to do more and more for kids. And it just seems like it just becomes a rite of passage. Like I didn't meet the people from British Columbia. But I mean, you figure that, those ladies, whoever they drove in for British Columbia, holy crap. They drove in from British Columbia. I mean, you might as well drive in from Russia.
Right. Pretty much. Yeah.
So, I think it's that. I think it's the interactive. I mean, the players come up to the kids almost no matter where you're at. So, yeah. And you get to see it. And again, it just, look, there's all kinds of great sports in America. Baseball, hockey. We're big hockey guys, you and I. American football is still number 1. And when you have the opportunity to do this with one of the better, most sincere fan bases there is, it's going to draw these people and just keeps on bringing it.
It's such an amazing experience. I remember one year I was just hanging out afterwards and I was just talking to the offensive linemen. We're just hanging out together. Like it's just an amazing experience. You could get autographs. It's such a wonderful thing. So if you are able to go as a Steelers fan, I would highly recommend it. It is amazing. And also it's in the middle of nowhere. It's like Field of Dreams before football. It's just such a beautiful, picturesque thing.
It's a beautiful area. It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
But onto how they're playing so far. Now, I think today was a little bit different, but basically the story of the training camp so far is the defense is dominating the offense. Anytime they do 7 shots, it's like the defense wins 6-1 or something like that. Is that because the offense is that bad, or is the defense that good? Is this? Kind of sounds like this is a really good defense.
I think it's twofold. I think the defense is going to be pretty good. Tomlin is famous for Tomlinisms and really never showing his hand. I'd always say he'd make a great poker guy. Like when it's all done, he needs to go to the World Series of Poker.
Yeah.
But he has even had a hard time shutting up about how good defensive backs look, in particular. So they've looked very good. I don't know if it's the offense is that bad. You're still going only 2.5 weeks into this. They're still getting a few reps in here and there. Even the stuff that we've been seeing on Broderick Thomas, the guy's only really practiced 3.5, 4 full days. It's hard to say, do we have a Broderick Thomas problem? We may, Broderick Jones, I'm sorry. Do we have that kind of a problem? We may not. We don't really know yet. But then again, as well as I do, it's preseason. It's so hard to say, oh, we're in trouble. But I would say of the two, the defense is making me sit there and go, we're going to be good. If we're, not getting too cocky, all my Browns fans out there are probably watching right now, not getting too cocky, not getting that Steeler, whatever. I think we're going to be pretty formidable on defense, Joe. The thing that gets me, we were talking a little old Jack Ham talk too on Saturday when we were there. And, Jack Ham would always say, and Lambert would come and chime in a little bit too. One of the reasons Jack Ham and Jack Lambert and Robin Cole, some of those guys back in the day, they had some successes because that defensive line would open up holes. And right now, that defensive line is doing that, which it wasn't doing in the years past. So I really feel like linebackers are going to make a big difference. They're going to have a lot of fun this year. think you're going to make a lot of plays. I think we may actually maybe get back to a Blitzburg, which is what everybody would love to see. Call us Yinzers, fine. We're Yinzers, but we love Blitzburg. We love the blitz. We love sacks. Whether it's TJ Watt, Highsmith, whoever. Give us sacks. We love it, and I think you're going to see it.
Yeah. From what I hear, Derek Harmon is the real deal. And it's funny, on almost every other team, the team's number one draft pick would be like the biggest story. And here it's like the fifth biggest thing that happened this offseason.
Right.
Derek Harmon, I hear Y.A. Black is really looking good too. And it used to be in the past few years, it's been Cam Hayward and a bunch of scrubs.
Right.
And when Cam Hayward was in there, okay, they were okay. When Cam took a couple plays off, the whole defensive line fell apart. And now it seems like even when Cam is not playing, the defensive line still holds their own. And you're right. If you have a strong defensive line, you make the linebackers that much better, and it could be scary.
Well, and not to mention the fact you have Jalen Ramsey, you have JPJ. I mean, that's already starting to look pretty exciting in itself, right there too. So, it's really looking solid. Black's been really good at deflecting passes. I think he had 6 or 7 batted down balls now. That's including against Aaron Rodgers and the likes. And the one thing I do want to about the defense, we're back into this mold here where Highsmith is injured again. And that's kind of my question. Do we have an injury problem with Highsmith? Because we had it last year. We had it the year before. Year before it wasn't as bad. Last year we lost him for a big part of the year. It does seem like he may be coming back. Maybe it's not that bad. I don't know. We talked about that the last episode. It's starting to be like hockey. It's an upper body injury. He's missing his head, but it's an upper body injury. Again, maybe that's why they drafted the kid from Ohio State, because he's not looked bad. So even the draft picks have looked pretty good. And you're right. Friday night defense really dominated at 7-on-7. Saturday it was 4-3. And the things I saw on Saturday, and I posted this on my Twitter account too, is I think we also have a tight end problem, but it's a good problem because Darnell Washington is snagging touchdowns like his job. He caught, one Friday from Aaron Rodgers, and then Saturday caught 2 from Mason Rudolph, and 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday from Howard. And all of a sudden it's like, he was like, okay, he's in the mix. We got Jonnu, we got Muth, but that one picture of him snagging the ball and you can't see the ball, and it's like you can't see an NFL football, right? And the other thing I was fascinated by at camp when I finally got to see him was when he was standing on the sideline, Joe, it really reminded me of a guy named Eric Green. Yeah. There was no question where Darnell Washington was on that field at any time. Because you're just like, where's he at? Oh, there he is. Because, you're a bunch of guys, big football players, except for Darnell Washington. It's like, yeah, that's Darnell Washington.
Giant.
No, he's massive. So, I don't know if we're getting too far ahead of ourselves here, but, holy crap, what a red zone target he might be becoming.
Let's hope. From what I'm hearing, he has improved a lot. From when he was a rookie, he would catch the ball and then he would fall or something like that. Now he's catching the ball and he's running like crazy. Aaron Rodgers recognizes, oh my God, this guy's a giant. When you see the Steelers in person and you see Darnell Washington, he's Godzilla. He's just a mountain of a person. And it's like, and we've been screaming at this for 3 years now. It's like, why don't you just give it to the giant man that nobody can cover and just just give him the ball and let him run. Like this is not hard, people, but we'll see. We see this in the preseason, we see it in the training camp, and then it doesn't happen in the regular season. So I don't know.
The difference in this year versus last year, from what I've seen, is last year they had him doing a lot of pattern running inside the 20. This year they're doing a lot of red zone targeting. Cool. Which I think that's where you want that guy doing it, right? JPJ was mostly on the shelf this weekend, so it was a lot of Beanie Bishop, a lot of Slay, Ramsey, stuff like that, and all three of them had difficulty covering him. The one set of drills we saw, Muth caught one, dropped two, had two batted down. Darnell Washington dropped one, caught every other single pass in the end zone. And that's with a blitz on, so he's that guy where, sometimes, Joe, I think you look at a guy and you're like, well, he's a good athlete. He's great. But no matter what you say, when somebody's that big, that big gives you forgiveness in the end zone. Like, I can throw it up to him on a kind of a crappy pass, and he probably is coming down with it, and he did. So I know, again, I don't want to make it like I'm hypocritical. I know it's preseason, but I can't imagine what we're seeing right now might not come to fruition in early season. Maybe we'll see this Saturday against Jacksonville.
Yeah. Yeah. There's also talk about let's make him a tackle. Come on, guys.
Yeah, well, that's Steeler fans, because you know what they say, because this is a Steeler fan. They'll say, well, 1971, we did it with Larry Brown. Okay, we did. But in 1971, a tight end's main focus was the block.
Right.
So it wasn't that hard of a conversion to take Larry Brown and make him okay, this guy's never played offensive tackle. Now, he said, yeah, I'll do it. I mean, you got to love the kid for saying, yeah, I'll try it. You put a new cereal in front of a kid. Hey, you got to try it. Okay, Dad, I'll try it. But for, not now. It's the speed of the NFL is so much different than 1971. And 1971, 2025, totally different.
Yeah. Yeah. It happened one time in history. Nobody else is doing anything like that. That should tell you that it's something not to be done. Okay. So,
right.
So let's put that to rest, but we'll see. We'll see. But that leads to, I know it's early and I know he's been hurt, but it doesn't sound good for Broderick Jones yet. I know it's extremely early, but I hope we don't have a problem.
It's pretty early, considering the kid's gotten minimum practice time. I called him Broderick Thomas before, like the Rockford Files or whatever. Or no, what was that? It was before the Rockford Files. I forget what that old cop show was, but I know my grandma Steele used to watch it. But no, Broderick Jones, yes and no. He's looked a little lighter, and actually, from what I've heard yesterday and today, he actually looked pretty good. I think what we really want to see is, let's see what he does against Jacksonville. Let's see how much he starts against Jacksonville this weekend. Those are going to be the games that kind of show up a little bit. Let's start seeing what he's up against other guys. Because the one day, I think the mark of it was his first start day, Herbig ate him up pretty bad. Yeah. And then Highsmith had a sack. Well, as much as you could sack somebody, right? It was a touch sack. Highsmith had a sack on him. So yeah, it did sound like he had a rougher 1 or 2 days. But he dropped some weight. He's actually slimmed down a little bit. And you have to think about this too. I'm not making excuses for the kid, Joe. The kid only got 1 year of Division I college football under his big ass wings. They're huge. So who knows? Maybe he's just going to develop a little slower than what we all would want. It's just he's left tackle. So, it's we'll see. Dylan Cooks looked pretty good, and they've been moving Dylan Cook around the line quite a bit. I think they feel like there's some safety net there if they have to plug in Dylan Cook. But, let's see how Jones does. But, concerns, but it's early.
Yeah, we'll see. But you just hope he stays healthy, because he needs that experience, and he needs that experience on the left side, because the only time he has been played, been on the right side so far in his pro career. So
yeah, that's a great point. You drafted up to get him, to play that position. Yeah. So yeah, we don't need to put him on the right side.
Yeah. Someone else that is they're counting on a lot is Caleb Johnson, and so far he's not looking great, at least on backers and stuff like that. Is this just, hey, he's a rookie, he's gonna learn kind of thing?
Yeah, I have no concerns on Caleb Johnson. If anything, I think he's the most promising back we've brought in a long time. The couple plays that I saw him make, he's also catching passes out of the backfield pretty well. He broke free on one swing pass, caught it, turned upfield, juked Darius Slay, and then juked Beanie coming on the other end, from the other end. because they had him lined up different like that, and he took it for 40 yards. The concern about him so far has been a bit of his blocking ability. They need him to block a little bit. He hasn't answered the call on that, but everything else to me, what I've been seeing is the footwork's there, the acceleration is there. He got blown up the other day by Marvin Leal, which I don't know if that's, he was standing up pretty good in that hole. I don't know if you saw that play. He was pretty erect. He wasn't down. And Marvin Leal's doing everything he possibly can to make this team. I don't think he's going to make it. So he's playing to where he probably should have played the last 2 years ago when we drafted him in the 3rd round out of Texas A&M. But I don't have any concerns on Caleb Johnson, especially what I saw Saturday in particular. He was 3 or 4 catches he made out of backfield. I don't know if that was just that day. I don't know if he's been doing that all last 2 weeks. But that's been something he's been doing pretty well at. I thought it was interesting that today they put him at 3rd in the depth chart. Kind of like a, hey, rookie, you got to earn it kind of a thing. Because I do not see Jaylen Warren being the number 1 back.
Yeah. From what I hear, he is nothing like Najee Harris, and that's a good thing. Najee Harris he could be good in certain situations, but he was not a fit for this team. And Caleb Johnson is a perfect fit for this team, and it is going to be, when he is out there, is going to be like night and day. So hopefully he doesn't screw up, and we could see that.
And we don't know what we're going to see yet. Like I said, I think Saturday is going to be a lot of fun, and the next preseason games, like Friday. But you might see a lot of 3 guys. You could see Caleb Johnson on 1st and 2nd. You could see Jalen Samuels mixed in there, or Jaylen Warren, I'm sorry. And then, Gainwell, Tomlin's been kind of pipey about him too. He actually was a pretty decent 3rd down back for a very much better team in Philadelphia. But we might be seeing some Gainwell on 3rd down plays. I'm interested to see how much we might see him. So, that's another thing too. Rookie running back. Hey, we're going to have you running 1st and 2nd down, maybe some 3rd down. We have 2 NFL veterans in here that we can sub in here. They're definitely going to make the team. So it's kind of interesting to see where they might be. And Gainwell actually not playing behind Saquon Barkley. Who knows? He might actually shine a little bit here. Remember what happened with Deuce Staley? Deuce came here. Deuce actually ended up being almost a little better than he was in Philadelphia.
Yeah. We'll see. It's going to be a very interesting. And then, how are the quarterbacks going to go out? It's probably going to be. Well, I thought it was going to be Mason in the first quarter or 2, and then. Maybe a little bit of Skylar Thompson, and then and then Howard Mania running wild. But Will Howard just got hurt his hand, so maybe we won't see him at all.
We might not see him at all. I mean, it was a collision with the center, handoff thing. He gave thumbs up and he walked off the field today, so he's probably okay. I think Skylar Thompson is on his way out. I don't think he's making his team. But yeah, you might see him in the second half on Saturday against the Jags. But no, I think you'll. My question, I wonder, is how much you'll see Aaron Rodgers. Are we even going to see him at all? He's 41. Are we going to see him for one drive? I don't know.
If I were to guess, I would say nothing in this game, a little bit in the next game because that's the only home game. And then nothing in the third game. So just a guess. You never know. Aaron Rodgers could be like, I want to go out there. I don't care. So who knows? I mean,
right. He could. I think he's content with not. No, I think you'll definitely see. I think you'll see a lot of Mason Rudolph, and then mix of Will Howard and company, providing Will Howard's healthy. But I think you'll see a lot of Mason Rudolph on Saturday night.
I'm just worried if this will delay the Will Howard Hall of Fame induction in 20 years. I don't know.
It's one thing you got to say with those Big Ten fans, Penn State included, Ohio State. There were a lot of Ohio State fans when I was there, and they were going nuts when he was out there. They were going nuts with the linebacker being out there. So. Yeah, Ohio State, the Steelers have always had a decent connection in the last, 10, 15 years. So, but he was very well sought after. Kids were running up to get his autograph. Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yep.
It's so,
Yeah.
that's where we're at. We're scrimming now. The backup quarterback is always like the most popular player.
Oh, yeah.
on the team. So
Yeah.
this is, but yeah, people.
Yeah, and I don't know how that applies to Cleveland right now because they have 41 quarterbacks. But I think this afternoon, they announced Saunders is going to be the starter. But I mean, holy cow, what is going on in Cleveland with the injuries and then they just brought in I think it's Huntley, back who played for I think he started for the Dolphins for 3 or 4 games last year. So at least we're not there yet, and hopefully we never get there.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. And if one of those quarterbacks gets cut, I know I shouldn't care. We shouldn't give a crap about Kenny Pickett. No, we shouldn't, but we do. Okay. He will always be tied to the Steelers, and it didn't help things when he said things like, "Oh yeah, with the Eagles, they're a real organization. They really know how to do things." Oh, you mean like cut you do? You mean like get rid of you?
Right.
They are a good organization.
Right. Yeah, you're on your 3rd team, kid, in 3 years, and I just saw a pretty good thing on ESPN right before you and I went on the air that they were grading that draft class, and he was a D-, which. I'm not sure how Kenny Pickett's not an F because F's total failure, which is what he is, and a bum. And if he hadn't gone to Pitt, nobody would have cared. If he would have played at, Slippery Rock or, Miami, no one would care. But he went to Pitt, so obviously people still think he has something to give, and I don't see it. He'll probably make the Browns roster just out of veteran, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not in Cleveland next year. He's going to be a journeyman quarterback. That's all he's ever going to be.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, right.
There is a rumor that Terry McLaurin wants a trade, and he's been linked to the Steelers. Folks, it's not happening. This isn't like the Brandon Ayuk thing, which I think actually almost did happen. There's nowhere. This is nowhere close. From what I understand, McLaurin wants to be like wide receiver 1 on any team he goes. He's not going to be wide receiver 1 here. So it's not happening, folks. Stop it.
I don't know. That's been I don't know why on Twitter today. It's almost like I can't even watch it. There's been all this talk about the Pirates extending schemes. That sure as hell isn't happening.
Oh my God.
And the reason that's not happening is they're a horribly run organization. They aren't going to spend the money to do it. The only thing that I get a sense of could this happen is Omar Khan didn't waste any time. He reached out. I don't know what the offer is. It's almost kind of fun to wonder what it is because they didn't say. The Steelers made an offer, and Washington said, we're going to reject that one. Doesn't mean Omar Khan won't go in again. The other thing is the Pirates have nothing to give. So, again, the schemes thing's almost worthless talking about. Steelers have quite a bit to give. I mean, Steelers could easily say, they have the most draft picks of anyone next year. They could give almost up 2 second-round picks. They could give up. They could give up a lot. You look at the tight end situation. You look at, you could throw in Roman Wilson. You could throw in a lot of different things if you wanted to. So I wouldn't say it's not happening. I think you're in the right philosophy. It probably will not. But if nothing would have happened at all yet, I'd be 99.9% with you. The fact that Khan reached out tells me they have a desire to get him. And now we got to figure out how much is the desire? What are we willing to do? Or you could be right. We tried. They said no. We're done. And that could be where we're at too.
Basically, the only thing you can't give up is a first-round draft pick next year. So if it's a 2, that's doable. If it's 2 3s or something like that, that's doable. You just can't give up the 1. That's all. So I don't know. See, this stuff annoys me because how often when a player says, "Oh, I'm mad about my contract, I want to trade," how often does he actually get a trade? Almost never.
Right.
This is all just talk. I mean, I thought for sure Myles Garrett was gone the way he was talking, and Micah Parsons is saying almost the exact same thing. We know he's not going anywhere. It's it's just what they do. It's just talk.
I do like to point out that the Steelers are able to get things done with TJ Watt without him stomping his feet and saying, I want traded.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing that out there. But, I actually did. I thought Myles Garrett actually kind of did it smart. I thought he did it at the right time. I thought the timing was there. I thought, he's going to be wearing another uniform. So I was wrong on that. But, he's back in Cleveland, and Cleveland should have another decent defense, but I think they're by far the last team right now in the AFC North. And but yeah, I mean Terry McLaurin, and then people were like saying, well, what if we get McLaurin and Micah Parsons? Like, okay, guys, no. That's no. Would getting one possible, getting both of you out of your damn minds? No.
What if we trade all of our bad players for all of their good players?
Right. Actually, the interesting thing too about that, if you're a Washington fan, if you take away Terry McLaurin, I mean, how does that affect Jaden Daniels? Right? Because Jaden Daniels last year talked to the NFL, talked to the NFL going into this year. You take away that guy, I mean, they left with Jahan Dotson and a couple other, 3 and 4 guys. I mean, yeah,
they're an up and coming team.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did they go all the way to the AFC Championship?
Yeah, they were in the Final Four. NFC, yeah, they were in the Final Four.
So, that's what you do is you get rid of one of your best players when you're an up and coming team. That makes no sense.
Right.
Just give the dude his money. What are we doing here?
Right. Yeah. And it's important to point out this isn't the old Dan Snyder run Redskins.
Right.
I mean, this is a smarter run team.
These are actual humans running it now.
Yeah.
Not a piece of crap.
Not that you and I are Commanders or Redskins, whatever you want to call them, fans, but you almost kind of want to see him stay because I don't have anything against the Washington team. I mean, they, I'd love to see. I actually kind of like to see them over the Giants or the Cowboys for sure. So, yeah, kind of stay there. And we were talking about that at camp too, Joe. And you and I go back, and if we're showing our age right now, it used to be the Washington Redskins. Their camp was at Dickinson College in Carlisle. So the Steelers and the Redskins always scrimmaged and
they always played each other.
Played a preseason game back in the old days because Dickinson College right out the turnpike. Come back into Latrobe. But yeah, it's kind of an old rivalry that was kind of fun back in the day with the Redskins and the Steelers. But yeah, no, if we get Terry McLaurin, I'm not going to complain at all. But if anybody else gets him, I hope he stays in Washington. I hate to see that kid go anywhere else.
I definitely don't want him to see him go to Buffalo or Kansas City or some crap like that.
Because Buffalo is one of the teams that would also have the space to get him.
Yeah.
We're one of the ones. Buffalo, I forget who else has the structure. Somebody else had the structure too. But yeah, I mean, you plop him down in Buffalo and wow.
Ooh.
Same with Micah Parsons. If Parsons were to end up in Buffalo or Detroit like they're talking.
Right. Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yep.
I'd rather have if the choice of owners was Jerry Jones or Bob Nutting, I'd rather have Jerry Jones because at least the dude sometimes spends money. But still,
right.
like how lucky are we that we don't have an idiot as an owner? That's Rooney's not perfect, but my goodness, Jerry Jones has a radio show every week where he just spouts stupid stuff every single week.
Yeah.
And all he does is, he's basically like a walking ESPN. He just says stupid things for attention. Thank goodness we don't have anybody like that.
Yeah,
running teams.
I agree. We got a comment from a buddy of mine out in Ohio, Mike Bartholomew. Where's Parsons going?
Nowhere.
Probably nowhere. I'm with Joe. All this stuff always comes up. There's always that big named guy that throws us out there. However, unlike Pittsburgh, Detroit has the room, and that's been the rumor, but they haven't reached out, right? So that's to me, that's why I could say at least, the Steelers reached out and asked, hey, what's it going to cost? And again, I think it may be done. They said, okay, so what's it going to cost? And they're like, forget that.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this. That's the one thing where the Detroit Lions, they need that one extra piece to kind of get them over the top because they've been right there. They've been right there. But, boy, you add Micah Parsons to the Detroit Lions and you're able to move him around like they do with him in Dallas. Boy, boy, are they
That's almost someone you do like a Herschel Walker type deal, like
right.
multiple ones, players, things like that. Because Micah Parsons is special. He's to me, he's almost a slight level above a TJ Watt and a Myles Garrett, because TJ Watt and Myles Garrett, they're basically on one spot. And yes, they could dominate, but Micah Parsons goes all over the field, and he is just
Right.
amazing. And
Yep.
he's young. He's only 26.
Yeah, very young. I mean, you're getting a guy that that would be a guy. I don't think it's happening in Pittsburgh at all, but that would be a guy. Whoever you are, go all in, because he's gonna be a phenom, and you're gonna have him for a long time. Wrap him up for 5 years, and you got a good thing going there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Parsons to Detroit, and like, I hate to say it, but Jerry's been kind of right. I mean, ever since that came out last Friday, it's kind of died down. You know, there hasn't been as much chirping from the Parsons camp or Cowboys camp. So that tells me they're probably trying to work out something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I mean, you never know. He could be so offended that he could say, I don't care what your offer is. I'm not going to play for you. And you either trade me or that's it. I don't know.
Well,
You never know with people.
And I took this down because I knew we were talking about this. But the one quote that I thought was pretty damning. I mean, he basically said, I don't want to play here. Wait a minute. So this is Parsons. I don't want to play here. They're not going to win a championship. Send me somewhere. So, I mean, that's, again, not that I would ever defend the Dallas Cowboys, because they're right up there with the Ravens for me. But it's pretty damning to your teammates. I mean, how do you walk back on the team and say, well, we're never going to win a championship? And you're a defensive captain of the team.
Right.
I mean, as much as you don't like a Ray Lewis type of guy or Ed Reed, they never said that. They had contracts come up all the time at Baltimore, and they stuck with Baltimore. You saw, Troy never did that here. And I think that's the difference, man. When you talk about why hasn't my team won anything? You got to have those special players, whether you like them or not. The Ray Lewises of the world, whatever. At least Myles Garrett's stuck in Cleveland. You got to give him credit for that, and the Browns. So, I mean, that's the kind of thing. Because let's say Micah Parsons does go to Detroit Lions. I guess you must feel we're going to win a championship here, because you kind of doted on your team in Dallas and threw them under the bus.
Yeah. So,
yeah, and we've seen that here in the last couple of years in Pittsburgh. The things you say and do in the media will affect locker room morale. They absolutely will. And the locker room in Pittsburgh has not been a good one in the last 2 to 3 years. Hopefully they got that, no pun intended, cancer out.
Yeah.
And they can kind of focus going forward with the guys that they need.
How do you come back from that? I mean, like, most likely he's going to sign a contract with Dallas. How do you come back with that and say, hey guys, just kidding. I think we're going to win a championship. No, we're just kidding. I was kidding. Like,
you go out and win. He's got to go out. He's got to go out. In my mind, he's got to have a defensive player of the year type year. He's got to have great numbers to just say, okay, I said what I said, but you know what? I also backed it up on the field. If he goes out there this year, has 70 tackles and 6 or 5 sacks, that's not going to look good. He's not put himself in pressure. He better have double-digit sacks, and he better have close to 80 to 90 tackles this year and be an all-pro like he's been in the past. If he's not that way, now you got trouble. You got trouble. And then you have George Pickens, who has not shut up about how great it is in Dallas. If you've been watching, I mean, it has been hilarious in Dallas. They've had to stop camp multiple times for multiple fights. The other day it was so bad that Schottenheimer made them like run heat laps or something like that. Yesterday, and I swear to you, and I can't load video on here, they had them riding around on broomsticks playing Quidditch. They were playing Quidditch.
Oh my God.
I mean, I don't know if that's either going to be like, hey, remember when we played Quidditch in preseason and that was a team building? I don't know what the hell's going on in Dallas. But I can guarantee you, I've never seen the Steelers or the Browns or the Ravens playing Quidditch. Or I've never seen Tomlin or, Schottenheimer or not Schottenheimer, or any of these guys have to stop practice because the fights were so intense. So, you can't tell me George Pickens is running down there saying, it's so much better in Dallas than it is in Pittsburgh. Give me a break. Give me a break.
Remember, is he a first year? Is that his first year as coach?
Schottenheimer down there, I think so.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right. Yeah, Kevin Stefanski, you can say what you want about him, but I think he's done as best he can in Cleveland with some of the things, and he isn't having players ride broomsticks.
I swear.
I look it up, anybody. We have people watching. I'm telling you, YouTube it right now. You can watch Dallas Cowboys practice riding broomsticks. Hey, I don't know.
I'm somewhat of a Harry Potter fan, but come on. Guys, we're adults. Come on. What do we say?
Probably the last thing you'd want to see is Quidditch robes and Cowboys colors. Good God.
Right.
Oh, kill me. Yep.
10 points to Gryffindor. Oh my God.
10 points to Jerry Jones. He caught the snitch.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine them trying to explain Harry Potter to Jerry Jones? Jerry Jones is like 85.
Right.
That would be funny. That would be
he may
funny.
have went. He may have went to Hogwarts for all we know. But, I mean,
he might have been Dumbledore's brother or something.
But and that's the thing. Like, and I feel like obviously in this area, we Steelers, Browns, Ravens, we have a pretty good time, and we always make fun of Bengals saying, "Well, yeah, you're there too, but none of us care about you." But Cowboys fans talk so much crap, and okay, yeah, you got us in Super Bowl 30, but you didn't get us the other 2 times. But I mean, you want to talk about an organization that has such a great fan base, and they do. Dallas is par with Pittsburgh, Cleveland, some of the better fans in the NFL. You haven't won jack crap since 1995. It's been a joke.
30 years.
Over 30 years. You haven't won jack. Nothing.
We want to ride. We want to send Tomlin out of town because he hasn't done something in 8 years.
Right.
Cowboys haven't done anything in 3 decades.
Yeah. 3 decades. They have done nothing for being, up there with the Yankees and the Steelers and the Canadians, whatever you want to put in there. You have nothing to show for it in over 30 years. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you have some pieces in play. I think you have a more than capable quarterback, pretty decent run game, a nice offensive line, not a bad they're not a bad team, and yet they still they're definitely not as good as Philadelphia. And I'd be hesitant to put them over Washington. They're definitely better than the Giants. But you're the 3rd best team in your division right now, despite all this crap. And your very best, most talented, gifted player is saying, I don't want to play here right now because I don't think we can win a championship.
He's mad as hell. Yeah.
He's mad as hell.
And you have a quarterback that is getting old. And he's injury prone.
32.
So
not young, yeah. Yeah, I like Dak. But his time's coming to an end here. He needs to do what he's got to do. And I believe they just lost it was Cleveland who lost a cornerback this past week, which, you never would have seen anybody lost to injury, but damn. Not in training camp, not in preseason.
Is there some Harry Potter thing for playing in the playoffs? Can you wave your magic wand? Oh,
yes.
Expo playoff-o!
Yeah,
oh!
right. Something. The Cowboys need that, but no. Yeah. So, that's just been interesting to me. And I would say, and it's not that we're a Steelers podcast, but I would say at least TJ and the Steelers seem to get that figured out before any drama kicked in. Too much drama.
From what I understand, there are a lot of NFL training camps they're not out there playing Quidditch, but they're not out there as hard and as intense as the Steelers have theirs. So I think that's a good and bad thing. I think what it leads is to a good start, but then they get tired toward the middle and the end of the season. But at least they start well, and they're at least doing stuff. They're at least they're working hard in training camp and not training it. I mean, the Bengals treat it like a vacation, and then they go 0-4 every year.
Right. No, I think there's something to that. You took those old school guys like Noel and Chuck Knox and Marty Schottenheimer and Bill Parcells, and they stayed in the pads until pretty much, week 1. And that's the thing. You sit there and have the Jack Lambert philosophy saying, oh, you're sissies if you don't do this. Right. But any now these days, I don't know. And that's something that's been debated with the Steelers last couple of years. And you've even heard rumblings from the players, like we're in pads a little too long. a little too intense. So I don't know. The I don't know comes if you have somebody getting carted off, and if you have multiple injuries. I don't know, but at least we know quarterbacks pushing blocking sleds this year, so at least they made
Thank
that.
goodness. Thank
At
goodness.
least they made that decision. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Aaron Rodgers was like going anywhere a blocking sled. Thank goodness.
What'd you think of the depth charts? Did you get to take a chance to look at those?
I did not. Is there anything? I mean, you said Caleb Johnson is third on the depth
Yeah,
chart?
well, and it's like I think who was it? I may have been it may have been Tennessee or Jacksonville who drafted the one wide receiver, and he's like 8. So I think it's always like it's you're a rookie, you still got to earn it. I kind of like that. I think we're going to keep a decent amount of these veterans. The only surprise cut that I see right now, I think James Pierre has played exceedingly well. He has played exceedingly well, and he's played great on special teams. And I think you could actually see Corey Trice maybe not make this team. The Steelers love Corey Trice. You and I talked about him on Steam. I remember what he used to be like when he's at Purdue and he wasn't injury-free. And I've said all along, if Corey Trice would have came through college unscathed, he would have been a top 15 draft pick.
Yeah.
First round, no problem. Steelers love him, what he can do. He had 1 interception for us last year, filled in well towards the end of the season. But he doesn't have that special teams ability like James Pierre does. So I think James Pierre might be on the inside getting a spot on this roster. And, a couple of the other guys, it's going to be a competition on some of the inside linebackers and some of the defensive backs. This defense being as good as it looks like it could be, that could be where you could see some interesting depth adds or cuts. Because the offensive line is somewhat questionable now. They can't cut anybody. Dylan Cook staying, Anderson staying. That could be kind of interesting as these next couple weeks come by, as they have to trim these rosters down.
I think it's going to get interesting in wide receiver. Obviously, DK Metcalf's going to make it. I guess Calvin Austin appears as wide receiver 2, but then Robert Woods and Scotty Miller. Are you really going to keep both? I don't know, because you also have Roman Wilson and Skoranek, and from what I hear, this Rock Taylor, he's looking good. So who are you going to keep? That's a good question. Yeah,
Robert Woods could end up being that odd man out. I don't know. That's not a bad. I think you'll see a cut coming out of wide receiver for sure. I don't know if Trey Sermon will make it.
Right.
Although he's gotten a decent amount of reps this past week, and maybe that's why they've been giving him the reps. The tight end problem is a good problem to have. I think tight end's good. It will be interesting. Now, today's depth chart, which is just, it's more of a formality. Connor Hayward's listed at fullback, which, I think it's a position that's dying that shouldn't die, but I'd love to see him at cornerback. But the one pass, were you there yesterday or the day before when the pass hit him right in his face and it bounced off into Patrick Queen's hands?
I think that was today.
That's today. Yeah, I mean, I was like, So, I just don't think. I think Connor Hayward brings some special teams value. I think he brings some fullback value. I think Connor Hayward probably finds a way to make this team without too much effort, but I think he makes this team this year.
It's going to be some interesting cuts. There's going to be some, I think, some good players to get cut. Even if at punter, I think it's obvious. It's a foregone conclusion that Cameron Johnson's going to make it, but Corliss Waitman did a good job last year, so you're going to lose him. That sucks.
Yeah, he did. But I think we have probably one of the better special teams coaches in the league. I think they make pretty good judgment on that. And but I mean, it's going to get a little interesting here in these next coming weeks, what they're going to do.
Remember, there's only 3 preseason games. So you use these to get ready, but you also use these as tryouts. And I think the entire 3rd game is just going to be one big tryout. It's like, okay, guys, this is your last chance. This might be your career right here, whether you continue playing football for your career or not. So go out there. And those are some of the most interesting games because people are playing for their careers, they're playing for their lives, and they're going all out.
They really are. the other guy that's been making some noise, and it looks like it's a very quiet pickup by Omar Khan, but Chucky Clark has looked fantastic at strong safety.
Yeah.
He may even push Deshaun Elliott for some playing time. Although what I saw the last couple of days was I think it actually made Deshaun Elliott play harder because both of them are playing at a very high level right now. Thornhill has been playing better too as well. So, you may be keeping two strong safeties. I don't know if Sebastian Castro would stay. They might move him to special teams. But it's kind of a good problem to have right now. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with some of these guys.
Yeah. Very interesting. We are so close to real football. Getting our first preseason game. It's coming. We're about a month away from real games. Oh, finally, the wait is over.
Yeah, I know. And it's looking good. And they've got Jacksonville, Tampa, and they're at Jacksonville 7:00 Saturday. Then they return home for Tampa Bay, and then the proverbial always fun go to Carolina, take over the stadium. I will give a shout out to Carolina. I thought it was pretty cool, especially considering what I've kind of gone through the last couple months of my life. That they let that young cancer patient on the field last week during their Friday Night Light. And let him make a wish thing and let him run in for a touchdown. I think that's always good stuff.
That's sweet. That was very nice. Yeah,
very sweet by the Carolina Panthers. Good organization there. So, but I think you're right, Joe. This Jacksonville and then Tampa are going to be two games where you're probably going to really see, some decent play by some veterans and rookies, and then that third game, obviously. Okay, you're on the cut line. Go out there and show us something. Yeah. That's where a fumble or a pick six or something like that, a kick return for a touchdown, making another guy drop a fumble, that could mean a difference in you being on a 53-man roster or joining us on the podcast.
Right. Yeah. Or bagging groceries.
Right. Yeah. We'll see you, Jan Eagle. Yeah. I have some smiley cookies with that eating part.
There you go. There's your choice. maybe another choice. You could be playing Quidditch. Maybe that's your other
Cowboys.
Career. See if with the Cowboys,
the Dallas Quidditch team.
Grab your robe, go down to Dallas, buddy.
No, you grab a robe. You're gonna be a seeker,
right?
If it works out, we might bring you back to the practice squad.
Expo touchdown! Oh,
so bad.
Oh my goodness! I want to be in the room when they tell Jerry Jones, yeah, we're playing Quidditch today. I'm sorry. What? Who? What? Oh, it's Harry Potter, Mr. Jones. What's a Harry Potter? What's going? What do we do?
Did we draft him?
Is he what
free agent?
Do I have to pay him too?
You have to pay him. How much does he want? Yeah.
All right.
All right, Joe.
Thanks for coming on. I'll see you, man.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the comments.